And I think there's a lot that reading publics outside Kashmir don't know of. It's either like people rowing shikaras or, there's violence. But, there's life to be lived. There's a daily grind of, exams to write, crops to sow, or jokes to crack. And of course, all of this is shaped also by the conflict and how you cope with it through laughter, through stories, through songs, which I'm giving a very idealized version of it. But these are some of the things that I think people have used, the coping mechanisms. Hi, this is Ipsita. I'm with KLF Apostrophes. I am here with my book, Dapan, Tales from Kashmir's Conflict. It's a reported book on Kashmir, but mostly it's sort of a story about stories told in Kashmir.
Hi. Writing a book on Kashmir.
Yes.
It requires a lot of hard work. And it involves controversies, conflicts after conflicts. It has mixed responses, everything. And why you took a decision to write a book on Kashmir?
I have been following Kashmir, events in Kashmir for a long time, even before I went there to report. And then I've been reporting from there, I kept traveling there to report from 2016, so it's about a decade now. And over the years, I have made friends, I have grown attached to the place. And also, there were lots of stories that I heard which didn't make it to the news reports I filed because they weren't news stories in that way, but they were, I think, stories that were worth recording, and I thought a larger public should hear them. And so I wanted to try to find a way to write about those stories and to record those stories. So that's where it came from.
See, for a common man in Kashmir, I am not a representative of a common man in Kashmir, but when we think from a third man's perspective, a common man, a very normal common man, is caught between the political issues, For him or her, the problem is to carry forward the life. It's as simple as that. Terrorism and the politics of Kashmir and the history of Kashmir, they don't bother about it. Actually, the prime, they are bothered, of course, but the prime concern is to carry their lives, which is often at crossroads. So how you find these lives there?
Exactly. I think there's a lot that reading publics outside Kashmir don't know of. It's either like people rowing shikaras or, there's violence. But, there's life to be lived. There's a daily grind of, exams to write, crops to sow, or jokes to crack. And of course, all of this is shaped also by the conflict and how you cope with it through laughter, through stories, through songs, which I'm giving a very idealized version of it. But these are some of the things that I think people have used, the coping mechanisms. Yes, there is a more complex picture than we usually get to see or hear.
See, the other area that you were mainly focused is Northeast. That also is always a place of conflict. Even now, Manipur is in center of news, Assam is in news. So, how you find life there?
How do I find life there? That's a very big question. I haven't been to the Northeast in several years now, so I wouldn't venture to comment very closely. I know that in Assam, life has got very, very anxious for a lot of minorities in Assam because there are evictions and sort of a crackdown on minorities. So it's a tough time.
So, have you evolved as a writer? For a journalist, as you rightly said in the beginning, it's only about facts. It's about news, about the happenings, and the content surrounding that happenings or even whatever it is. But for a writer, it is something beyond that facts. It is something beyond that what we see.
Yeah.
So, how you transformed the journalist in you as a writer?
So I I did, as I said, some of these stories were news stories, and I wanted to write about them in sort of what was not strictly a journalistic register, because all of these stories you can't fact check, right? You can't fact check certain myths or fables or rumors, but they are, or not just rumors, even anecdotes. Some of these live in memory, and I wanted to find a way to write about that memory, about the work of memory also. Like someone told me about going to watch Jaws 2 at a movie hall in Srinagar in the late 1980s, and then a bomb went off. And that is an important story. These are important details that I think tell you about how the conflict was experienced and imagined.
So will you be writing again on Kashmir or Northeast?
We'll see.
Have you balanced this, your career, your writing career?
That's a good question. I quit my job to write this book because I needed time to kind of just report and write. I have now started teaching, so yes, I still have to figure out a way to keep writing while holding down a regular job.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Ipsita. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you.
you.